Howdy. So lately I've been hearing from people who are saying that there seems to be a whole lot of nasty people on social media, and they're blaming social media for people being nasty. And I want to kind of put that to rest. Social media has nothing to do with people being nasty. It has made being nasty easier and made people be stupider than they used to be. But people have always been nasty. For instance, I go back to, well, grade school. Let's just go all the way back to grade school. People used to actually write notes. This is what we did back in the day. We didn't have computers. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have tablets. We had none of that stuff. What we had was paper. And so people would write nasty things on paper. And they would send it to their friends first, and then they would send it to the person who they wanted to pick on. Now, what's that kid supposed to do? Can't say anything to the teacher because the teacher's going to say, oh, so you're passing notes. Even though you didn't pass the note, you received the note. Back then, teachers didn't play this thing of trying to figure out who did something wrong. They just went after the first person they could find. And so if you were the person who told the teacher that you got a note, you were the one going to get in trouble. Now, if the teacher knew whose handwriting it was, then the next person was also going to get in trouble. Because teachers just wanted people to pay attention. Still, you had jerks back then. We've always had jerks. There's always been people who have said something bad to someone else or done something bad. Uh, my goodness, I could probably name 5 or 6 things just off the top of my head, but I'm not going to because everybody has seen that. You folks have seen that. Whether you're around my age or whether you're younger, you've seen bad things happen outside of social media. It just does. I mean, you know, it's one of those kind of things where, you know, social media can bring a lot of joy. It really can. It can teach us a lot of things. I mean, I learned a lot of things because someone has posted something. I said, wait, I didn't know you could do that. Let's go check that out. I would have never even thought about looking that up because it was something that never came to my mind. I almost hate to admit this, but just last week I found out what roasting was. I thought I'd been roasting food and found out, no, I was nowhere close to roasting food. Turns out I'd never roasted anything based on what roasting really is. So, yes, you can learn a lot on social media, but to sit there and say, well, social media is totally mean or whatever, no. It does bring out a lot more people who will say a lot more stupid stuff. It makes it sometimes a putrid place to be, especially like, last year's political season. It was just horrible being on social media. I mean, my goodness, we're a year away from what I consider one of the biggest disasters in history. I'm just going to say that and get it out of the way. But it has remained vociferous and loud and ugly. And I have blocked a lot of that because I don't need to see all that in my social media. If I want something really bad like that, I can just head into the city. I know a couple of areas where I could run into some people who would make social media look like a cat, a kitten, because you get people in front of you, that's real. Stuff on social media may seem like it's real, it's not. The real stuff is worse. How many kids do you know who are going to school every day and being bullied? Yeah, you may say, well, they're also being bullied on social media. Well, you know what? That's parents not watching what their kids are seeing on social media, but the parents can't protect the kids at school. Matter of fact, these days, teachers and principals and school boards can't protect kids at school. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that to say that to blame everything on social media is a little extreme. Yes, we're hearing all this stuff now about how the election last year might have been influenced by the Russians on Facebook and Twitter and all this other kind of stuff. You know what? Back in the day, it was newspapers. It's always happened. I mean, I live in the Syracuse area, and we were known for having conservative news. Where everyone else talks about liberal news, we had conservative. The news stations now are owned by a conservative news conglomerate. It's just how that is. So it hasn't always been social media. It's not that social media has made people meaner or anything like that. People have always been mean. There's always been that. They're just a little stupider. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know your thoughts on this. Yeah, I will talk to y'all later. My name is Mitch Mitchell. Like, subscribe, share, or just fuss at me for rambling. I'll see y'all later.